Let me give you a few disease and death facts because they're always overwhelming to me when I hear facts such as these. One of the first numbers that's always mind-boggling to me is this last year and this last election for a new president has been a lot about the current war in Iraq. And when we researched that, we found that not quite 5,000 people have died in the whole war. Now, I've always said that's 5,000 too many, and you all know that I am not a fan or a believer in war is the best way to solve anything. But that's a lot of people, 5,000. And in Vietnam, we lost 50,000. But if you add up that 5,000 and that 50,000, and then you also add up all the people that died during the war when I was born in Korea, and you also add up everybody that died in World War II, and you also include everybody that died in World War I, and the Spanish-American War, and the American Civil War, and the War of 1812, and even the American Revolution, you won't even come close to the amount of people that will die just this year from heart and circulatory disease. I mean, isn't that amazing? In 1 year, we'll lose more than everybody that's ever died in this country fighting in any war. And look at how horrendous all those wars have been for America and the world. And if we look at these numbers, one of the things I like to do is look at them because they make us realize what a big problem we have. I know that most of us sitting in this room don't think about dying. I know that a couple of you do because you've had a brush with it. And that's wonderful. As you know, that's the greatest blessing there is because we live our lives differently. We use that big nudge to get us off the path we were on and onto an exciting new way of living. And so these numbers are important. The reality is most of the people you know are going to die from heart disease, from heart attacks, from strokes, from circulatory disease. In fact, if you add up every other disease known, 600,000 people will die of cancer this year. And on top of that, we'll lose tens of thousands more to all the diseases, from diabetes to Alzheimer's, to every other disease known. And then add in car crashes and drug overdoses and alcoholism and electrocution and suicide and depression. And if you add up the deaths from all diseases known, from cancer on down, and all the ways that you can die from car accidents to drugs and alcohol to suicide to drowning, you won't come up to the number that'll die this year from that one cause of death again, which is heart disease, circulatory disease, and strokes. It adds up to more than every other cause of death combined. It's big. That's the idea I wanted you to get, is it's big. And chances are the majority of the people that you know and love will die from this disease. Heart disease, heart attacks, circulatory disease. Wow. Okay, so heart disease, heart attacks. I've been surprised, I'm watching this new beach show on television. I record it and watch it and cut out the commercials, and they filmed it on Miami Beach. And it's amazing how many people have heart attacks on the beach. I mean, everywhere you go now, they have defibrillators. I joined a club in Florida, and there must be 50 defibrillators on the premises because so many people are just falling over and dropping dead. So heart disease is a very serious issue, and I know herbs that can stop us and stop our relatives and our loved ones from having heart attacks. The number 2 cause of death in America is cancer. I already said 600,000 people will die this year of cancer. it's pretty much the odds, if you were talked to an insurance man, that if your friends and loved ones don't die from heart or circulatory disease or heart attacks and strokes, they're going to die from cancer. We know it's the other big killer out there: prostate cancer, breast cancer, lung cancer, brain cancer. Cancer has riddled our society for a lot of reasons. I know the cure for cancer: stop doing all the things that cause it. I have spoke for years about cancer. You want to know who's causing cancer? Just look at the Dow Industrials, the economy of America. Everything we use and touch, just about, from the fire retardants in our computer chassis and laptops to brake dust in the road, to additives in the food, water, and air. Just about everything is around us is carcinogenic. So we've got the highest rate of cancer ever. It used to be 1 out of 25 100 years ago. Now it's almost 1 out of 2 people get some type of cancer in their lifetime. I love America, and I love the American dream, but there's a little bit of a uh-oh. Now, so when you see organic food these days, or something that's environmentally friendly, it might not be perfect. I laugh when I think about environmentally friendly cars, okay? We got a long ways to go before we can make a real one, but it's a start. Organic growing is a start. Environmentally friendly cars is a start. Recycling's a start. And one of the main reasons to do all these things is to stop giving ourselves cancer and using glass instead of plastic. It's a start, okay? We got to just start to turn it around. I know it's a big deal, but every little thing we can do is helpful. But cancer's killing us. If it isn't heart disease, it's cancer. And the third thing that happens to us, if we're lucky enough to get old enough and not die of heart disease and not die of cancer, we start developing problems with our memory and senility, premature senility. It could be Alzheimer's disease. It could just be memory loss, confusion, depression and anxiety, loss of hearing and eyesight, and all the things that we call normal aging in America was also taking out those that survived heart disease and survived cancer, and somehow, missed the bullet, dodged that bullet of heart attack, stroke, circulatory disease, and dodged that bullet of cancer. But now they're 50, 60, 70, and they can't remember anything anymore. And they can't, they get depressed easier and quicker anxiety, and they're slower at thinking. The doctor, the man that went in to see his doctor, and the doctor says, I have really bad news and double bad news. The worst news is you have cancer and you only have 4 months to live. And the guy said, what else? And he goes, on top of that, you got Alzheimer's disease. And the patient said, well, thank God I don't have cancer. Anyway, the numbers, I'm not even going to go into the numbers of Alzheimer's disease. Greg sent me a great report on it, and it was so scary. I thought, if I bring that up after cancer and heart disease, we're just all going to leave here and either kill ourselves or buy Protect formula. But it's alarming when they look at the next 20 years and the millions of people in America that will literally have lost their minds, and the tens and 20s of millions of Americans that will be depressed and have anxiety and panic attacks because of the lack of circulation to our brain. Now, I know the cure for all these things. The number one cause of heart disease and heart attacks and strokes is blockage. And the way to unblock is to thin your blood, and the best way to do that is become a vegan. But the reality is not everybody's going to do that. And I'm not selling a quick fix here. It's really how to get some more life and a little more longevity out of your loved ones, and how to protect yourself if you're not quite up to all these programs yet. Because I use this formula in my clinic too when my patients first came in, because I couldn't wait 30 or 60 days for the incurables to take a hold. I needed to protect their heart or their liver or whatever I needed to protect right away. Anyway, those are some scary death facts. But let me tell you now a little bit about the Protect formula, what's in it, and what it will do for you in an easy, simple way.